there's too much fear involved, and it's taking away from quality of life in retirement. You've earned it. You should have an enjoyable retirement and be able to have the freedom of not having to worry when you do have those additional perks and enjoyments in retirement.
Welcome back to Steadyhand's Coffee Break, where we share insights to help you, our Canadian clients and friends, navigate your financial future with confidence. Today, we're initiating our Behind the Advice series, where you will meet the people who engage with our clients on a daily basis and bring our advice to life. In addition to learning a bit more about each of our team, you'll hear directly from them about the issues that are on Canadians' minds, the stuff that keeps some of us up at night. In this video, I'm joined by Evan Parubets, the head of Steadyhand's advisory services. Evan's been in the financial planning and the investment industry for over 2 decades and has worked with thousands of clients and was a key member of the team at Steadyhand that created our retirement withdrawal program, a simple, flexible way to turn your savings into a reliable income in retirement. Today, we're going to talk about how it works, why we built it, and how it can take the stress out of drawing from your portfolio. Evan, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Thank you, David. It's wonderful to be here.
Now, before we get into the retirement talk, let's get to know you a little bit better. You're a lifelong Torontonian, a Leafs fan, a cyclist, a foodie, and a dog lover. So what's a perfect Saturday for you and your family?
Well, it would be to spend time with my family, dog included, have a relaxing day, sleep in, do something with our child, go to the park. We love biking together, in fact, and we definitely love our backyard. We got a nice little oasis. We like to hang out, maybe bring some friends, enjoy a wine. That would be a great Saturday.
Fantastic. And if you were not working in financial services, what do you think you'd be doing?
Well, my dream actually was to do urban planning or city planning, and I was almost going to go to university for those courses, but through some changes, I ended up going to financial services, which I do love, but I do love all things city and urbanization and whatnot.
Well, I think you would have been a fine professional debater because you definitely know your stuff and you speak with a very strong perspective. Now, you lead our advisory services team here at Steadyhand. For clients who haven't worked with you directly, what does it involve?
Leading the team it involves several facets. I do actually love mentoring those who want to get to know more about advice and whatnot. It means a lot to me. It's the core of what I do and what I enjoy. So passing on the expertise as I can is a big part of what I do and what I enjoy.
And over the years advising clients, what's the biggest shift that you see clients face when they have to move from saving or accumulating their wealth to actually spending it in retirement?
I think a lot of clients feel very vulnerable and they feel that they don't have enough. They often don't know where to begin, what to plan for, and they really need guidance and help. It's a big deal, and it's one of the biggest changes you have in your life, along with, for example, having a child or whatnot, and they just want guidance.
Well, let's switch to something that we're providing a lot of guidance to our clients on, and that's the Steadyhand Retirement Withdrawal Program. What is the fundamental problem that this service was designed to solve?
The possibility of losses to your portfolio that would have a detrimental effect on your overall retirement plan. Most individuals have read or heard about horror stories where markets go down and the value of your portfolio, let's say your RIF, is down, and now you feel you cannot retire. So this was meant to safeguard your portfolio for the long term in the event of the inevitable downturns. Sequence of return risk is something that might have some individuals may have heard of, and sequence of return risk refers to losses early in your retirement, and those have a more detrimental effect on your retirement plan than later, and this is supposed to be a solution to that.
And we know how difficult it is to resist the temptation to sell when markets have gone down. And so this program is really designed as a way to help mitigate that sense of urgency to do something, and therefore the risk of actually incurring losses. Now, the backbone of the program is something that we call the spending reserve strategy. Others call it the cash bucket strategy. How does that work?
Yeah, lots of different names, cash bucket, the cash widget. But the idea is to keep a certain amount of your investment portfolio in a savings vehicle that's very safe but does give some type of interest. The amount that we generally recommend is 2 years of your equivalent cash flows. As an example, if you need $2,000 a month from your investment portfolio to live off for retirement, over and above things like CPP and OAS, well, $2,000 a month over 2 years would mean we'd recommend putting $24,000 in savings.
Now, at some point, you're spending the savings, right? Like you're drawing down from the savings fund or the cash bucket. So at some point, you've got to top up that reserve. You've got to go in and right the ship, so to speak. So how do we approach that? And how do we decide on the right timing?
To answer that, I'll explain the problem that we saw arise before that. Typically, what would happen is as the savings fund depleted, individuals would only top up once in a long while, maybe a part of an annual review, and often there's not enough left in savings in the event that we're in the midst of a downturn, and now there's not enough time for those portfolios to recover. So what we realize is we need to focus on more frequent top-ups. We want to get back to 2 years as frequently as realistically possible. So we recommend every 3 months. And if the individual stays to that time course, then they'll never have less than 21 months in savings, which is more than enough time for most downturns when you're in a balanced portfolio, which is typically what we recommend for individuals who are retired or taking money out of their portfolio. We send out emails to everyone who's enrolled in the Steadyhand withdrawal program on a quarterly basis with the recommendation of whether we should top up or not, and that's dependent on factors such as what occurred in the market in the last 3 months.
Now, many of our clients take their withdrawals from their RIF or their LIF or their non-registered account on a monthly basis. Others take it quarterly. Some people just take it once a year. So this program has to be reasonably flexible then to account for individual requirements. Can you give us a little bit of perspective on just how flexible or customizable it is?
Yeah, so regardless of the amount taken out, we simply multiply by 2 years. So whether it's monthly times 24 months or quarterly times 8 quarters, and whether it's a minimum amount required or on a RIF or a fixed amount, and we could do those for monthly and quarterly payments. We actually don't do it for annual payments simply because if you're doing once a year, that's so far apart that quarterly emails actually wouldn't make much sense in this case, and those individuals would top up manually, but for all other clients, the frequency, we can adjust to that in the program.
Now let's just switch a little bit to human dynamics and arguably behavior. Now you've talked consistently over the time I've known you about how important it is to have a clear plan to help clients feel more confident about spending in retirement. Why is this so important?
We've worked all our lives to get to retirement, and it's a real shame to see retirees spending less than they can because they're so afraid that they will run out of money. Now, we do have to be responsible, of course. We can't spend it all and go crazy, but often there's too much fear involved, and it's taking away from quality of life in retirement. You've earned it. You should have an enjoyable retirement and be able to have the freedom of not having to worry when you do have those additional perks and enjoyments in retirement.
So let's finish up. If someone watching this thinks that this program might be right for them, how do they get started? What's it cost? That kind of stuff.
To get started, either give us a call, speak to any of us who you've spoken to before. even email us and we can get the ball rolling. The process is quite simple. You do need to have a monthly withdrawal, of course. Doesn't matter what type of account, RSP, TFSA, or RIF. There is no cost whatsoever. It is a free service that we provide. As soon as you enroll in the program, the very next quarter, you'll start getting these emails from us. When you do start to get the emails, your only responsibility is to act on it, which is simply to give us a call. All the data is in front of us at our fingertips. We know exactly how much to put in per month, so you don't have to do the math or any of that. You just simply have to give a call to give consent to do it for the quarter.
Fantastic. Well, let's wrap up with some quick hits on you, Evan. I know you're an avid cyclist, and I know you love food. So if you were given a choice, would you go cycling in Tuscany, or would you do a Tokyo street food tour?
I'll start in Tuscany, bike away, and make my way to Tokyo, meet Thule, and then we'll go on a good foodie tour.
That's you can have your cake and eat it too kind of response.
Exactly.
All right, let's make this a little harder. Speaking of hard, what's one financial lesson that you've learned the hard way?
I used to think very naively that I could outsmart the market through market timing and buy when I thought the markets were going to go up and sell when the market went down. Now, fortunately, I didn't have any tragic portfolio losses, but what I did realize over the years that I did is how much time I spent all for nothing. And I now put my investments away and I don't even think about it. I just let it grow, and it has done a lot better by doing nothing.
The best lesson I had is similar to that. I remember exactly where I was. I was in Boston, Massachusetts, and I got a phone call from my broker. It was 1999, or just maybe tripping into 2000, and I had a margin call, which meant that I had to sell some of my securities in order to pay the money that I had borrowed from the broker to buy those securities. But it ended up being one of the best transactions I ever made because the .com was just about to blow up, and I was able to sell the securities at some degree of not profit, but not as bad a loss as it could have been. So let's finish up with one simple human piece of advice that you give clients most often.
For retired people, don't be too worried to the point that you're taking away from your quality of life. And the other one is focus on your goals. Don't focus on the market day to day, whether it's Trump and tariffs now and COVID or 2008. Just focus on your goals, whether it be saving for a home, education for your children, retirement, and plan around that goal without being disrupted by what's going to happen between now and when that goal starts.
Well, those are wise words, Evan, and I know they come from deep inside your heart. You've worked with thousands of Canadians, helping them to get a goal-oriented planning in place. And thanks for being here, as well as for the role that you play in helping build the program that's making retirement so much less stressful for so many of our clients, the Steadyhand Retirement Withdrawal Program. Now, if you'd like to learn more about that program or to see if it's a fit for you, please do feel free to reach out to us. We'll post details on the program in the notes below. And if you've enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Steadyhand YouTube channel. I look forward to returning soon with more Behind the Advice episodes. We've got a great team, and I can't wait to introduce them to you. We'll see you next time.